Right now, you are watching me on an electronic device. Do you ever think about where it will end up when you are done with it? I'm Mohammed Khalil, the founder of Pyrocycle, or the new alchemist who will transform your waste into gold. It's hard to imagine navigating modern life without a mobile phone in hand. Computers, tablets, and smartphones have transformed how we communicate, work, learn, share news, and entertain ourselves. They became even more essential when the COVID-19 pandemic moved classes, meetings, and social connection online. But a few people realize that our reliance on electronics comes with steep environmental costs, from mining minerals to disposing of used devices. Consumers cannot resist faster products with more storage and better cameras. But constant upgrades have created a growing global waste challenge. In 2019 alone, people discarded over 50 million tons of electronic waste, the equivalent of 1,000 Titanics. Electronics consist mainly of metals and plastics. Metals, and more specifically the precious metals like gold, exist with very high concentration in the printed circuit boards, about 300 times the gold that we can extract from mining. But there is a challenge. In order to recover these precious metals, we need to separate them from plastics that are mixed with chemical substance called the flame retardants. These substances decrease the flammability of electronics and release toxic emissions when we try to burn this plastic or our e-waste. That's why over 90% of e-waste of Canada are sent to other countries like Ghana in Africa, where they burn electronics in the street to recover the precious metals without any precautions, while the remaining 10% of Canadian e-waste is recycled using two techniques. The first one is the mechanical recycling, where they crush e-waste into small pieces and try to separate plastics and metals according to their physical properties. But the problem here is that we can never achieve 100% separation, and we end up losing over 25% of the precious metal, and plastic usually end up in the landfill. The second recycling method is the smelters. Smelters use very high temperature furnaces to burn the plastics of e-waste and melt the metals, and then recover this metal from a pool of molten metals. The problem here is mainly the toxic emission released from burning plastic during the process. There is also about 10 to 15% of loss of precious metal during the process. And here comes Pyrocycle to propose a new green, sustainable, and cost-effective thermochemical process to recycle electronic waste without releasing toxic emissions or landfill, by decontaminating the plastics of electronics and transforming them into value-added product, and also by recovering the precious metals. Our process consists of 3 steps. The first one is a size reduction, where we crush and grind e-waste. The second is where the magic happens inside our reactor. Inside the reactor, we break down the plastics, and we decontaminate and stabilize the emission released and produce value-added products like carbon and oil. Finally is the chemical treatment, where we recover the precious metal like gold, silver, platinum, and palladium in series in a selective way. Compared to the smelter of Glencore or FCM recycling, who use mechanical recycling techniques, Pyrocycle is able to recycle e-waste plastics and recover pure precious metals with high efficiency, low operating cost, and no toxic emissions. Our business model during the pilot scale is a B2B, based on recycling the e-waste received from certified private companies, municipalities who collect e-waste, then selling our product, mainly the precious metal, as raw materials to the precious metal refineries. Finally, we share part of our revenue with our e-waste suppliers as a price for the materials that we receive after subtracting our operational cost. The environmental impact of our process was evaluated in 2019 based on ISO standard for greenhouse gases. This evaluation resulted in a decrease of 1,256 tons of CO2 emissions, the equivalent of 20,000 trees grown over 10 years. Pyrocycle also received in 2020 the Solar Impulse Efficient Solution label, recognizing its technology for recycling e-waste. This label is awarded to innovations that combine technical feasibility criteria, positive social and environmental impact, and economic profitability. The team of Pyrocycle now include me as a CEO, Professor Jamal Shawki, my PhD supervisor, co-founder and director of the technology, Mr. Sylvain Savard, my mentor and investor. He is also the co-founder and director of business development, in addition to 2 full-time employees, Paul as a director of administration and Maxime as a process engineer. With the support of the city of Montreal and the team of FAME Montréal Est de Lille, we moved from the incubator of Polytechnique Montréal, where we tested our prototype in a simulated environment, and now we are setting our pilot plant in Anjou in order to start our activities in the next few weeks. The pilot plant will help us demonstrate our capacity to produce high volume between 1 to 5 tons per week. The agreement with the major players in the market of electronics in Quebec and Canada, and the financial assistance from the Ministry of Economy and Innovation (MEI), PME Montréal, Canada Economic Development for Quebec Region, the Foundation of Montreal Inc., and private investor who helped us raise $500,000 will allow us to complete successfully this phase and reach the industrial scale. After 5 years of work between research and business, I feel proud of my accomplishments and proud of the journey I have made along the way. I would like to give a special thanks to the jury members and all the foundation organizations, businesses, and individuals that make significant contribution to me and to Paracycle.